How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another TV edition of Silver Screen and Chill. My name is Matt.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Ian.
All right, so we have a lot to talk about today.
So let's jump right into
Let's see, what's the big one? The Walking Dead finale.
That was nuts.
That was...
How'd you feel about it? A lot of people were underwhelmed. Weren't really excited about the finale. How it ended.
I didn't think it was a bad episode, but I think it wasn't the right episode, like the episode we deserved.
Okay.
Because you don't hype up a character like Negan pretty much the entire season. Like, mention him by name, and then he had a really good entrance, like, solid scene, but to have him only for 10 minutes and then leave it on a cliffhanger of, like, who he kills, wasn't ideal.
I heard people were really pissed off.
It just wasn't fair. To me, it wasn't fair to the audience to build them up. It's kind of like a really bad case of blue balls, to really build them up and then just only, like, you get a little bit, you get a little taste.
Well,
you have to wait for more.
Speaking from experience from both television blue balls and feminine
blue balls?
Go on.
Oh, Jesus Christ. From a woman withholding sex from me.
Go on.
I'm just saying that I feel like
are you saying?
I've built a tolerance to the blue balls.
Okay,
I can deal with the pain, and I really thought that with Negan, like you said, he had a really cool entrance. It had that little wink. I mean, not a little wink to the comments. He definitely bashed someone's head in with a bat, which is nuts. And I really liked how they did have the POV, how it was, just must have been interesting. I just imagine this cameraman looking up at the camera with a pillow on his head, and this guy just whacking the shit out of it, because it felt like the camera was really going up and down with it. So it was really cool, and yeah, I get that people
are done.
Yeah, people are pissed that you didn't know who died, but you know what show nowadays ends a season not on a cliffhanger? There's always something that's like might happen. So I understand the disappointment with it, but I like all the speculation. You know, it's in a culture now that where we watch like Netflix and we watch a show just 10 straight episodes. We're used to having instant gratification. With this, you get to talk about who you think did it. You get to let that whole you get to let it stew for a season or stew.
I like the wine glass simulator you just did.
Yeah, you get to let it breathe like the wine, and then we're gonna have a nice little taste at the beginning of next season when we find out who it is.
I'd heard that
Thanks for the save, man.
Yeah, I'd heard that people liked. What they didn't like is that they felt robbed of what could have been a really crazy, like Red Wedding-esque scene.
Yeah,
I feel like they were robbed of it.
I could totally see
no
that.
Pun intended. Robbed. That's pretty good, right? Pun intended.
Holy crap! That's like couple weeks away. All right.
Excited for Game of Thrones. Yeah, to me, I kind of agree with that. You feel really robbed of like this really awesome entrance. I think it would have only made his entrance better. And as far as you were saying about leaving on a cliffhanger, the cliffhanger could have been, fuck, he killed someone. Mm-hmm. How are they getting out of this?
That's true, because that's also still the cliffhanger. No matter what happened, you're right. That's the cliffhanger.
Yeah, because if he wanted to, he could kill them all.
Well,
and that's all the big players. That's all.
Yeah. It's literally the whole camp. Besides the people that were originally in Alexandria are still back there.
Yeah.
But with that whole thing, he talks about how he needs them to work for him now because they see how this group works and how talented they are. He wants to use their talents for him. So you know he's going to let him free, but he had to kill somebody because he can't look like a pussy. And personally, something that I kind of like about Negan as a bad guy is usually when we see bad guys are so like polished with their speech and stuff and everything. And he wasn't a bad speaker. I'm not trying to say he wasn't a bad speaker, but he's a guy that cusses like a regular person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like
feels relatable.
It feels more relatable in a sense. Yeah, you're right with that. And this guy is not. I don't know how to put it. He's just a different type of guy.
He's the anti-Rick.
He is. He's the total anti-Rick. And
he's the total antithesis of Rick.
Yeah, it's cool because they're so close together, but they're really far apart on a lot of things. So,
yeah.
I think Negan's gonna be a really cool bad guy to see on television. So it's gonna get interesting. I even suggest that if you haven't even really watched the show, just you can jump on now and I think it would be an interesting part to jump into.
Welcome to the Walking Dead spoilers for Ian.
I don't care.
He doesn't.
I've
But,
tried a few times. I just.
But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. Like I said, the episode wasn't bad. Like I thought it was really looming. Them going down different paths and running into just different groups of Negan's gang of the Saviors and just having to go pull back.
I like how one of Negan's main henchmen is the guy who played Trevor in Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Which is funny because I guess he must have an AMC contract because you're the one that told me he was the guy in Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah, he was. He was the guy in Better Call Saul.
Mike punks him
In the first season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike punks him. Which, when he told me that, I was like, how the hell did I not know? He looks exactly like Trevor.
He does.
Yeah, so, I thought that, that's just a little tidbit.
Yeah, that was cool. What else was I going to say about it? I really want to know, you can take guesses at who he killed.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't know, should we talk about that? That's kind of spoiler.
We spoil on this show.
Yeah, it's, if you want to go buy the comics, it's hands down, it has to be Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
They made it so forth, almost recreating the comic scene for scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, it makes sense if it's Glenn, but I could see it totally being someone else.
Yeah.
To me, the four I think it could be is Glenn, Abraham, Eugene, or Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl because he's injured already. I think Norman Reedus has a new show coming on AMC that doesn't. I don't know how he would divide his time.
Yeah.
Both would be very time consuming, and then and plus Daryl isn't in the show the comic to begin with, and he's someone you can really if they really want to go for the impact that they're trying to go for with this cliffhanger. I think Daryl would be the most shocking. Because he's a really huge favorite, and him just being dead is just like holy shit.
Yeah,
I killed Daryl.
That would be insane.
That's why I see it for Daryl. For Eugene, I can see it because they kind of already had a send off for him. He showed him how to make bullets. He gave Rick the bullet recipe. He was willing to drive the RV on his own to distract everyone else so they can try and get away. He to me that was the peak and the point of his the highest point of his character, going from the guy who was afraid and just lying so they could keep everyone else can fight and keep him alive to the guy that's willing to die for everyone else to live. From being completely selfish to completely selfless. I think that's the perfect arc, end of an arc for him. And then as far as Glenn, because it's the comic, and Abraham because to me, I think when Negan was talking, Abraham kind of had the most I'm not afraid of you kind of deal. He kind of puffed up his chest a little bit. It was just I'm not afraid. And I feel like when you want to be that bad guy and you want to make a point to whoever you're trying to threaten, you take out the guy that's not afraid of you.
Yeah.
It could have been Rick, but Rick is also the leader. But I think, and I know they would need Abraham if he does want them to work for him. But I think if they took out Abraham, you get out of the guy that's wasn't afraid, and you make a really strong point to everybody else.
Yeah. With the whole Rick thing is I think in the comic, in the show that he talks about how I don't think he leads on that he's not going to kill Rick. In the comic, he says he doesn't want to make him a martyr because if you were to kill these people's leader, you're going to make him a rallying point almost. And the reason I see it not being Glenn is in the comic, Lori when Lori dies, she gets shot by the governor, and also Judith dies. So I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna have Maggie's child die, and they're gonna have Maggie and Glenn deal with that little business with that. And I think with Abraham, he had a closing moment with that same closing moment that you were talking about with Eugene. He had a closing moment with Eugene. He was talking to the chick how they were gonna start a life together. He even talked about Sasha and how they're gonna have kids. And he just seemed to start to get his life on track, and that's a good person to kill on TV shows when they're getting their life on track and really becoming different people. But that's why it's kind of fun that they didn't show who died, because we can have these conversations. If you know who died, you don't have these conversations.
That's true.
Or on the other hand, you can say, "Well, wasn't it crazy when that guy died?"
Yeah,
true. Especially because if you knew the comic and they decided to not go the Glenn route. If they were to go someone else, I think it would be another big conversation to, holy shit, why did you think he went this route? Yeah, I think you can, there would still, no matter what they did, there would still be a really good conversation to be had about it.
Or put it this way, we never not have a conversation about Game of Thrones, and they show us who dies They definitely show us who dies.
Yeah, no one's freaking safe on that
I'm
show.
gonna petition for Ian to be a writer for The Walking Dead, so he knows how to actually put in final harsh points.
I think I heard that AMC really likes to milk out the things that you know what I mean, like cut things and cut series.
We did get season 5A and 5B of Breaking
Bad. Yeah.
That's the only way we've had The Walking Dead. It seems
It's
like
cut in half.
They have it started on Halloween and then they have it finished in February.
So you really just get like almost double the season.
Yeah, but you also have weird waiting times in between. Oh, but like another thing that's bugged me about this season and why they did it with the cliffhanger, like the cliffhanger really just bothered me again, was they've had it too many times of like who died or are they dead, aren't they dead? They had it with Glenn when they show him almost die, but he really
I was
didn't
gonna
die.
say I feel like this show more than anything is a bunch of teasing.
Yeah,
it's a lot of it is
does
like,
get like that now.
Well, this show had a lot of balls for a long time. Like they just killed people. Like they didn't really give a shit. It wasn't quite Game of Thrones, but
that's what I'm saying to keep it up.
They would totally just kill people to kill people. But now they seem to like puss out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they like had that thing with Glenn.
Which pissed me off.
And
they should just kill him.
But see, that's why the cliffhanger bugs me more. Because it's like, is he dead? And then you wait a couple seconds, like, oh, he's not dead. Thank you for having me waiting. And then from the last episode, they shoot Daryl, and then blood gets all over the camera, and it's like, did they kill Daryl? That's a really weird way to kill Daryl. And then later you see him the next episode. It's like he's alive.
If I was a fan, that would piss me off.
It bugs. It's just like, look, we're showing you that he almost died.
Yeah.
And you think he died, but he didn't because we
see. It's like why even try to kill him?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
just so
have him captured.
Because they want people to talk about it and tune in. But I agree.
You can do that with other means to make a conversation happen.
If you're gonna shoot someone, they should die.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to the hospital in The Walking Dead.
Or just not keep teasing that near
death.
Yeah, do it like once in a while, maybe. Not. It seems like they do it all the time.
And now it seems like it's just you see the show have such big balls. Now it's almost gotten like they believe in their hype now, and they don't want to kill certain characters because they know people love these characters. But the best part about it is that. Like we just talked about Game of Thrones.
No
they only kill the characters I like. I think the only people that I like are dead, and so you learn to love someone else in Game of Thrones. You adapt.
Well, they have also the benefit. I don't know if Walking Dead has this benefit, but Game of Thrones has the benefit of having a lot of interesting characters.
Yeah.
A lot of well fleshed out characters, so that you can be like not too bummed out when Robb Stark dies because we still got Tyrion or the Red Viper is a cool character when he was alive. You know what I mean? Like.
And it's funny too, as we talk about Game of Thrones, like no one is safe. Kind of Tyrion is safe. Like a couple people are safe.
I don't know that actually.
I feel like
especially now that the show and the book are just like two different things.
I think that making it two different things makes Tyrion almost more safe. Because George R.R. Martin will kill anyone.
He will.
Maybe the HBO guys won't.
But let's talk about the other half of that. Of the storyline of the Walking Dead finale with Carol and Morgan.
Okay.
That was interesting. Because I really want to know what happened. Like, it's really interesting to see Carol have that breakdown in the past couple episodes.
Yeah,
and
you're
being
not
the
really
badass.
quite sure why she's really broken down this way, too.
Oh, I actually heard a really interesting theory of why Carol is acting like that.
Why?
Is because somehow, some way, she got threatened to poison Maggie. That's why Maggie's sick out of nowhere. That's why she's like that. Like when they got captured or something, she got like when they were separated, she got threatened that she had to do something to Maggie or else maybe they would come and kill them all, and that's why when Carol leaves, right, like the day after Carol leaves is when Maggie's sick, and that causes them. And that was kind of getting me thinking too. Like, how did the Saviors know to like just cover every exit as if they knew where they had to go? So and it's like.
And Carol walks away free.
Yeah, and Carol just doesn't want to go back, and Carol feels like she should die, and she doesn't feel like she should be with the group anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really interesting theory I saw online. That it could be has some solid ground to stand on, but I mean, it was interesting to follow through.
Something else we'll see.
Yeah, and then they found that other group.
Mm-hmm.
That I wonder if they're the ones
probably
that
Ezekiel's clan.
is that from there?
Yeah, it's this black dude that pretends he's a king and he has a lion. He has a tiger for a pet. It's freaking dope.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
That'd be cool. Like if they could like team up with him to fight Negan, maybe.
yeah, that's what kind of the direction they go with the comics. But honestly, with the show that's kind of with The Walking Dead that almost just lives in realism type deal. I don't know if you can have a guy have a tiger as a pet. You know.
Makes for fun
like,
TV.
I feel like that'd be cool.
I mean, like it'd be
That
cool,
would bug me
but
at all.
like there's just so much.
That's in the comic.
It is in the comic, but like sometimes I like when things are a little bit
Maybe
more
make
real.
something else different or kind of.
Well, in the
wild
comic, they say the tiger's been hurt and Ezekiel took care of him in the zoo before.
I don't see.
I don't give a shit. It's a wild animal.
But I mean, now we have to wait till October.
Yeah.
Or no, September, late September, late October.
You know what? I'm just thinking about what we were talking about with their cliffhangers. It's getting. I feel like it's almost as redundant as jump scares now.
Yeah.
Like it's very like the same thing. Like it's super cheap.
I
Yeah,
don't
no,
understand how
jumps-
much they used that this season, and it was just.
Well, I don't understand at all because I don't watch it, but I get that. Like I've heard this
Yeah.
complaint from people.
It's just they gotta stop. Just follow through.
Yeah, it's like you just know a cliffhanger's coming out at every episode.
Mhm.
You know it's gonna turn out okay.
Mhm.
Like, what's the reason?
Yeah.
What's the reason for it?
Like Game of Thrones, you would know. Going back to Game of Thrones real quick. Game of Thrones, like you don't know who's gonna die, but when they die, they die,
Yeah.
and it's not like, oh, he's injured. Is he?
No.
Jon Snow.
They sure fucking die.
Jon Snow.
That's one person. All right,
But
so-
it's okay. But that's one guy they've done out of how many deaths?
yeah.
I know, but I just.
Right,
And we don't even really know if he's like we know that he's not dead, but do
Jon
we really
Snow.
know?
I'm still following through with my theory that Jon Snow is dead. When he comes back, his name's not Jon Snow.
Well, I guess in the books, Catelyn does come back to life as a zombie.
Oh yeah, she's
So
the
that's,
latest.
That's
Stoneheart.
fucking. That's
She's
I
Lady
so
Stoneheart.
sadly missed that story. I mean, I get why we did, but like I'm.
I don't think it would have translated well to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
cool.
what I'm saying. Like how the tiger,
Yeah.
I don't know, is gonna translate.
Well, that was last week, guys. Watch or 2 weeks ago's episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
What's the next one you guys want to talk about?
Daredevil.
Let's talk about Daredevil.
Okay,
Because we actually wrapped up that season.
Yeah.
This season, season 2 is really good.
Yeah, no,
it had a
season two's
lot
really
of improvements.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If you ask me. First off, I guess just the main three. It's character arcs. You had Matt going in a weird direction.
Mhm.
Like he had a weird moral conflict of like choosing to be with his friends and then choosing like Daredevil's life. That was like a good conflict for him. Foggy stepped up in a lot of things. Foggy's still not the best, but
his acting is just not
I
gonna ever
actually,
be the
for
greatest.
some
he's better
reason,
this season.
He's a lot better.
For
He's a
some
lot
reason,
better.
I didn't mind his acting this season. Maybe because I like the character. Maybe because I kind of like him now. He grew on me.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that completely.
He totally grew on me.
Yeah.
Because at first, when I first watched season 1, those first couple episodes were rough.
Brutal.
I was like, man, this guy sucks. He couldn't get someone better. But I actually like, I don't know, I like his character, and maybe that's
Well, the thing about Foggy too is when you first meet him, you kind of just think he's being a pussy and he's kind of like a vagina, but like he has grit to him. Like he's able to fight back for himself, and you could tell that the only reason he doesn't want Matt to do the Daredevil thing is because he cares about him.
Yeah, he's want to die.
They really
not
developed
scared.
that. They hit that home this season with how like Foggy breaks up that fight in the hospital between the two gang guys. His opening statement for the Punisher.
But
case.
the whole Punisher
Yeah.
He
case.
goes if you want to talk about him
Let's
having
go.
balls, he goes to that biker joint,
Yeah,
and he asks about that guy.
yeah.
So
He doesn't really care.
They show him like he's.
He's grown,
He's
and he
going
got
on.
at the end of that show, he gets a new job.
Oh yeah, he's working for. Did you guys watch?
Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
I
She's
saw
the-
that.
she's the lawyer for Jessica Jones.
I was watching, and I went, "Oh my god! Wait a minute! What did I miss?" But
Carrie-Anne Moss.
what about Punisher was really cool.
Punisher was great.
He was
Yeah.
really cool, man. He was awesome.
I heard a lot of funny things, or not a lot of things, but he was on Conan before, the guy who played him, and he said he went to Ventura and like he went to a comic book store to do like research, and the comic book guy was like, "Oh my god, you're gonna be the Punisher, like take all of these for free." When then he went to New York, and like he didn't really get noticed, and he picked up a lot of comic book Punisher, and then he put it down on the desk, and the guy went, "Oh, so you're gonna be the Punisher, huh?" He goes, "You don't need that one. You don't need that one. You don't need that one." He goes, "Hey man, don't fuck it up."
Yeah, if I was gonna play like a superhero, I'd go to like a comic book nerd and be like, what do I need to know? What do I need? Because they fucking take their lives.
Those are the people that will ruin you. They will ruin you if you don't get it right for them. So, but he got it right.
He did a very good job.
Right.
And he had the good benefit of having a lot of episodes to flesh out his character rather than. I'm starting to think that TV shows are like the books to movies. You know what I'm talking about?
Ooh.
You get a lot. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good way to put it.
You get a lot more depth. It goes book, the ultimate depth.
Yeah.
Show, then movie. Because think about it. If this was a movie, it'd probably be mediocre.
Yeah.
If Game of Thrones were a movie, it'd be good, but it'd probably be mediocre.
Well, you know how a Daredevil movie went.
Well, that's a...
But the director's cut.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Director's cut does make it a little bit better. I actually saw that recently.
It's an inside joke.
It does make perfect.
No, Punisher was awesome.
No, yeah, he was.
And
really
you know
cool.
what? I liked Elektra too. Elektra was really cool.
Oh.
At first I didn't.
He didn't like her.
Oh,
okay.
I loved Elektra.
At first, I was thinking I was like, oh man, I don't like her. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, I'm just being a dick. I'm just saying I hate her to hate her. And then then I started watching her, and then I was like, she's really badass. What's there to hate about her?
Yeah, she's really cool. I liked her character. Another well fleshed out character. I liked her backstory.
You know what makes her cool? Ooh. What's really good about that too is just Stick is so fucking cool.
Oh, I was just about to say Stick's probably cool.
So
Stick
fucking
is so
cool.
Stick is the coolest character.
You can do whatever you want with Stick, and I'm gonna love that story.
The actor's doing a really good job, and the character is just really awesome. Stick is the coolest.
Cool.
Stick is probably the coolest.
We were just brought it up because he thought I hated. No, I loved Elektra, and I'm just saying if she wants to call me Matthew, she can.
Oh.
I don't like people call me Matthew. But she wants.
She's quite attractive.
She's more than free to do so.
Yeah, and she's got the exotic thing going for her.
So you got that. They had when they brought her in, they had that like big sexual tension fight between them, and they meet.
Yeah.
And they bang.
Mm-hmm.
Like because it shows like that's what was like weird
he
to
didn't
see
need
like
guidance to find that hole.
No, he did not.
Nice.
He's blind, and that wasn't clever.
But like, I like how they had like, does he want a relationship with Karen? Does he want a relationship with Elektra? He kind of wants both.
What's funny too?
Oh, go on.
Oh, what's funny too is like I felt like they were going for does he want a relationship with her or her? But then at one point he's just kind of like, oh fuck Karen.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like, I like Karen as a character. I think she's doing a good job, but. Like, dude, they just had no chemistry. It's just the scenes with them were weird. Yeah. Their love thing was just not working.
It was quick, and then it was just like as quick as it came, it was over.
Maybe they tried to get out of the way. Maybe they just were like, let's just have everyone try and bang her, just so we can like get that out of the way.
Yeah, because like you said, she was good. Like the whole thing, her relationship with Frank.
Yeah, that was good.
Was really good.
It
made a lot of sense too. It wasn't just like, oh, it's but a woman, Frank Castle. It was like, no, it made sense that he opened up to her. Mm-hmm. I mean, just going back to, I just want to talk about the Punisher because like with this show, I think I said this the last time we talked about Daredevil too. Is they always have someone that's kind of cooler than Daredevil on the show. I mean, Daredevil always has his Stick storyline.
I actually really like him, Matt Murdock, this season.
Oh no, I think he's really good, but I always think like Kingpin was so interesting in the first season, and Punisher was so interesting in this season. I mean, the prison fight scene was insane.
Oh, that was really cool.
That was crazy.
That was really cool.
Freaking insane.
When he gets locked in there and he's fighting all the
when Kingpin
convicts.
totally screws him over, and then also in the diner when he tells Karen to go into the steel, and he just kills those guys too.
Yeah, that was awesome. Everybody. That was really cool.
Covering for Daredevil, it's on the rooftop at the end there.
Dude, it was so cool.
He
was just so awesome. And I liked how the skull looked and everything.
Oh yeah, he made that. That's cool.
You know what I didn't like? That's becoming a real big cliche. I don't know if I brought this up already, but the child molester is the way to paint a person's moral value. Can we please get rid of that? That's getting as lazy as like killing a dog to get everyone's sympathy. You know what I mean? Because everyone's gonna hate a child molester. Everyone's gonna hate a dog killer or whatever. It's just fucking lazy. Get rid of it. Or some guy raping someone. Yeah, these are all horrible things, but can you please be a little more clever with your boy? Like, I remember he's leaving and the guy is like, I got some kiddie porn, like just casually saying it. And then and you're like, oh, Punisher's a good guy.
Oh, you see, he's nice. There's a heart of gold in there.
Yeah.
But I liked a lot of the... Kingpin was still really good this season for only being in a part of it. Yeah. The scene between him and Matt when Matt goes in as himself and like interviews him.
That
And then
part's
he
awesome.
The only problem with that scene that I had is you could totally tell. You remember he's slamming his head on the thing?
Yeah.
You could totally tell Matt's just going. You could see his head not hitting the thing at all. I was like, oh man, come on. But that was cool. It was a very brief scene. One of my favorite scenes is when Daredevil's trying to stop Elektra from killing Stick.
Mm-hmm.
And then those guys rush in, and we get a quick glimpse of all three of them fighting.
Yeah,
that was probably my favorite part of the show, and it was so short-lived. But it
was
good.
fun.
No,
Yeah.
it was good.
What was cool about this too is like just the little things like you just said too. When he's in this tunnel and then he listens to their swords and then they drop the swords, so he has to listen to them breathing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and so like
that was cool.
It was cool him seeing working his power.
Yeah.
You know, like so yeah, awesome.
Now, go on. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say this season, like, I don't know how I felt like the whole hand storyline. To me, it was like a lot of kind of confused me for most of the part.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked just like how much they took the action and gore in this season, especially with the Punisher killing people. But also, it really stood out to me the scene with Stick where they put the spikes
bamboo?
in each of his
nails,
nails or fingertips, and he's just
I was waiting for a Wolverine joke.
It's really
Daredevil does like those cheap superhero jokes.
Yeah,
Did he make another one?
They've made them before.
It was just super like I consider myself fairly like immune to like gore and stuff now because I've seen like a lot of movies, but that like really made me cringe.
That's why it hurts.
It makes me play with my hand right now.
It does. That's why I'm doing this.
We probably all did it.
It's just rough.
So as great as this season was, and it was really good, I had a good time, I have to admit, it has its flaws that I was just really turned off by. This season for me could have been, it went from the show was a 7 when it first started, which is good. 7's good. Season 1, I would give it a 7, 7.5. Before the finale, before the final episode, I hated the final episode, by the way. I thought it was terrible. Before the final episode, I would say it's an 8, but that final episode really knocked it down for me. It was beyond cheesy, cliche. The whole scene with him and Elektra, like, we're gonna move away. I was getting Dexter flashbacks. And you know what is a huge fucking plot hole in this show? Well, first of all, who's a worse person, do you think? Fisk or Punisher? Who do you think's done worse things?
Fisk.
You really? You think? I feel like Punisher's killed way more people than Fisk has ever killed.
Yeah.
And not only that, if Fisk was a hot, beautiful woman... I'm sorry, Punisher. Did I say Fisk?
Yeah, you said
okay, sorry. Punisher. If Punisher was a beautiful woman like Elektra, Matt would have no intentions of putting this person in jail. Elektra has killed more innocent people than Punisher has. And Daredevil's like, we need to get him in jail. We need to get, and then with Elektra, he's like, I love you. We can be together. We can work this out.
We can fix
Why
this.
didn't he want to help fix Punisher? That was a massive like. This guy's just horny. Like, and you know what?
But you know, the thing about that too is I think Punisher kind of understands that.
I'm sure he does. Like, no, I get it too. But still, it's kind of like.
And that's why it helps him at the end.
Yeah.
Honestly, how corny that was, I did like it.
I actually I didn't. I have to admit, I didn't like that because.
Yeah, I knew you did.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it felt like everything was shoehorned in. You know what I mean? Oh, there's Punisher. See you around, Red. Everyone had to get it. There's a Simpsons scene where everyone at once does their catchphrase. You know what part I'm talking about? And Lisa just goes, "I'm going to my room." That's what I felt like. I did not like that finale. It was really cheesy. It was cliche. The part where he's holding her and she's dying in his arms, and the character's just kind of like the bad guy's just kind of like standing there like, all right, I'll let him have his moment. I hate that. They need to get rid of that. The Punisher just killing 2 people was. They should have had him kill. What should have happened was they should have had all those guys at the door like they had, and Punisher was picking them off. And then all that was left was that guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That would have been way cooler. And even Stick cutting that guy's head off, that was cool, but like, Stick just came out of nowhere. It just felt like everything was shoehorned in.
Oh,
and then him revealing he's Daredevil.
Did he know that Nobu would come back to life when he knocked him off the roof?
No, he didn't. I think they made a point of that.
So is he gonna have like the common feeling like he killed somebody?
Okay, and then
I think so.
Our buddy Greg was talking to me, and I didn't really think about it. Did you guys know that he thinks Punisher is a guy that's been dead and has been brought back? Because he has that bullet hole in his head.
Oh.
And then when he's...
I kind of thought that.
Oh, really? Because it didn't really...
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I don't know. I kind of thought that too, but I don't know. I feel like Punisher. Frank Castle's like just a normal dude, right?
Well, I think what
he's
happened.
really
could be something
badass.
new with him.
Yeah, no, I don't think like it's given him anything. But another thing that which brings more light to this is how else would he survive the boat explosion?
Mm-hmm.
And then he also, when he takes the bad guy, his general to the cabin, he kind of so the 4 hours with the that became back as a non-guilty verdict. So even a person like the Devil, she wanted OJ's fucking head, and also I was talking about it. I was like, oh, maybe she still voted not guilty, but it was just a majority rule. No, on that it was a unanimous decision for not guilty.
Well, I think if it's not unanimous, it's a hung jury, right?
Yeah, it's a hung jury, so they can go back for it.
Yeah.
So it was unanimous, and that's how he was able to get off. And
I try and think that it was such a long, exhausting case that they were just like, I don't care.
So with the evidence that they like actually show in the bring out in the show,
They showed. Oh wait, go on.
well, what I was gonna say is with like what they present to you throughout the show, through like each side and all that. Would you guys say it makes you think he's guilty or not guilty, from what you saw?
I think personally, if you think about it, and like what I just said, there could have been a hung jury, and like that could have been a thing. These people, I think they found him not guilty because there was actual reasonable doubt. I think there's actual. I don't like. I'm gonna take the Dave Chappelle route on this when he talks about Michael Jackson. When he says, he's not guilty, and he goes, well, that was a little strong. Okay, but I don't think that you can. People keep on saying that he was for sure guilty, but there was reasonable doubt for this. I really think there's reasonable doubt. I think it made sense that he came out not guilty. And, you talk about Marsha Clark and stuff. She was a great lawyer. But she had to go against them. They were called the Dream Team.
Yeah.
It made sense that they got him off.
And
it was
not
the
even,
first time a brother
not
could pay
even
for that.
not even to take away from like Johnny Cochran or just that team, just that legal team, but it was the perfect storm.
Yeah.
It was the perfect storm. You had the Rodney King riots not that long ago.
They kind of...
A lot of that black versus white tension was really... And this was just, it wasn't even really about OJ.
Mm-hmm.
It was just about, can this black guy get a fair trial? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it really came down to a race issue, and it's unfortunate because 2 people are dead. And if you ask me, yeah, I think he killed him. I absolutely think he killed him. I think if... what's his name? Making a Murderer was found absolutely 100% guilty, then I think OJ would just be just as guilty,
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion on it. But I think the show did a really good job of, it showed both sides of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, I thought it was going to be very heavily biased towards him being guilty, but it really wasn't. It was really, I thought it was very...
Yeah, I thought they were going to try to make it unbiased, but there was no way that they couldn't make it.
They just kind of showed you...
They just showed the facts.
Yeah, what was happening,
And what's kind of funny, too, is with that show, I kind of swayed. Like, you kind of like, oh, shit, he's super guilty. Wait, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah. And so you're able to go back and forth. And then when they got Furman back on there, and he pleads the fifth...
that was...
He pleads the fifth to not... with the tampering of the crime scene. I mean...
You know what I was told was interesting is... What they did, what the legal team did, was actually illegal. When someone pleads the fifth on one thing, that's it. They have to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the rest. You can't ask any more questions. That's all you can do. Yeah, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah, the great show. It wasn't biased. It just told you how things went down.
Well, I guess like you were saying, it's about him getting a fair trial. He obviously got a fair judgment, I guess, on the show, right?
I would, yeah,
like
I would say so.
What
Obviously,
the
Dream Team, they had their little shifty moments, but they're trying to keep their client out of jail. So
it was the first time
you want Johnny Cochran defending you.
Yeah.
Well, Chewbacca defense.
Yeah.
When Kramer takes the free coffee.
Yeah.
But it was the first time a black guy actually was able to pay to get out of this. I mean, white people have been doing it forever.
Yeah. And that's kind of why it was a big, people were excited that it happened, because it's like, yeah, you fucking see how it feels. And feels so good, does it? Sucks getting screwed up.
That's why Dave Chappelle said, maybe we were a little...
We celebrated too early.
Yeah. But, yeah, like you just said, though, it was super... super interesting. Just
And that-
I was interested in every fucking.
I was like
moment.
excited every night, like
Every
Tuesday
moment.
night. I was like,
ready.
let's watch it.
I was ready, dude.
Yeah.
Like everyone was just so good.
That-
Every single person that was put on. That
Yeah,
show.
and that final episode was beautiful. It was really,
How it-
really well done, and that haunting. It was very haunting to see
Him looking at the
Ron and Nicole's picture at the end of the show. Ooh, man, it was like Jesus Christ. It was intense. And him looking at his statue.
Yeah, the symbolism. of him
OJ is
just
standing there
his
looking at his statue. That's nuts, dude. That was.
It was horrible, man. I mean,
I know what I'm catching up on then.
Yeah. What episode are you on?
To be
I don't-
honest,
maybe I'm not even gonna ask.
It's like 4.
Wow.
man,
I'm
Lagging it, man.
that was. I think it was a short. I mean, obviously, it's basically a miniseries.
Mhm.
That was definitely the best thing on television while it was on.
Yes, that hands down. It was just so well done.
So I have it all DVR'd, so
It was the only thing I kept up on.
I would watch I would usually save Saul for like Tuesdays because I'd watch OJ, then I'd watch Saul.
And you always shit on me because I usually watch Vinyl too. Like
Yeah, he watches them
I
late.
wait a week.
I'm trying to get people to watch this show, and he's not even watching it.
It's good, but fuck, dude. Sometimes I do shit on Sunday.
Yeah, but
we do this on Sunday.
yeah, we do Sunday morning. People versus OJ was great. I was really sad to see it end. I don't know if this is true. I heard they're doing Hurricane Katrina next year. I don't know how it's gonna work. Yeah, I have no idea.
I thought someone said Charles Manson.
No, I said that would be cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I heard they're doing
that would be
Katrina.
cool.
I'm a little worried though that this is just gonna be racial show. You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
Hurricane
just-
Katrina was a big
super
racial. Yeah.
Oh,
You know what is another really powerful moment? When they lose, Christopher Darden goes on the stand and he tries to talk and he can't and he just falls into the Goldman's arms. He starts crying. It was, and that really happened. I went up and looked that up. It really happened. It was not dramatized. Yeah, it was heartbreaking.
That was super.
It was heartbreaking, you know?
Because he felt so.
He felt terrible.
They felt terrible because she promised them earlier in the show that they're gonna get.
Yeah, and it's 2 people are dead, and
That's
and he just wanted justice.
that's so
All he
weird
wanted.
that's like the I guess a low point wouldn't be like one of the lower talking points of that whole thing.
Mhm.
2 people died.
Yeah.
Is like a footnote.
Well,
on
that's
this
the
entire
problem.
thing.
That's the problem that I know. Ron Goldman's father, he's a very very huge activist in all this. Obviously, he's his dad, but he said that it's bullshit. That my son is a footnote in his own murder. You know, the whole thing about.
I think
OJ
he legitimately
and-
says that. In the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, and he said that in real life too, and I feel for the guy. You know, it's got to be awful.
Yeah, at the end of the
Your
show,
son is not.
they talk about the civil suit.
Mm-hmm. Which
And
pretty much
they-
cleaned OJ
they
out, but he
cleaned-
didn't even pay him that much. I don't think.
Didn't pay him at all.
Yeah.
They said they owed him $50 million, and he paid less than $1 million.
Yeah, it's crazy,
You know,
man.
and it's something I think is interesting about the whole OJ thing too. Is now it's come out and people are thinking that he has that CTE, the disease that a lot of these football players are getting.
Yeah.
With all the brain damage,
Yeah,
that makes
it
him
makes
do
sense.
crazy shit.
Stephen A. Smith, he's an analyst on
He's
ESPN.
an asshole on ESPN.
He is an asshole, but he made a really good point. He said that, you know what, you cannot excuse what he did. If, you know, whatever you believe. You can't excuse that on his brain. It's just kind of copping out. But I don't know, maybe when he dies, we'll find out. Because they'll probably operate on his brain.
I would hope that if he did do it,
He'd write a book
he'll
if I did it.
not write a
did
book.
That I do.
But I would feel like,
Yeah.
since he's in jail, to be like one last thing to, I guess clean your conscience wouldn't be that great of a thing to say it as he's doing, but to really just be like, I did it. And before he dies.
He made a joke about it, but it's kind of true. He did end up writing a book called If I Did It. So I
But
always
didn't you
took
say
that.
Goldman said that?
Yeah, he sued him for all the rights of it, so he couldn't even release it. Goldman released it, and he put, it's almost funny. It's called If I Did It, but the if is almost microscopic and just says I did it. Like, so that's fucking horrible. What a terrible.
But I mean, I
tragedy.
for sure, like you want to hear like I did it, you know.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of people believe it.
Why admit it now? I mean,
because what else?
He's already in jail.
Who said that he did it?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you believe.
He's found not guilty, so.
Yeah. But hey, by state, he's not guilty. So, there's that. But, People vs. OJ, it's over, and I'm sad.
And,
But oh, go on, sorry.
Just to jump a little here. Fuck you, Stephen A. Smith. You're just shitting on the Lakers right now because you're 76ers.
Oh God, is he? No, he's a Knicks fan.
He's from Philly.
Oh, okay. I thought he was a Knicks fan. Anyways,
I had a jump stream on.
so
Silver Screen of Sports.
We're coming to. We've ended OJ. Better Walking Dead's over. Better Call Saul's wrapping up. Lionel's wrapping up. Which means one thing is coming out. And I am fucking ready. I am ready for Game of Thrones. We talked about it already, but that is the one silver lining. The one silver lining in all this ending is we're getting some GOT.
That's what we're all watching soon. We're all watching Game of Thrones. Nothing else.
You know what's gonna be cool is like, you know how for a lot of these shows we waited until we wrapped them up. Game of Thrones is gonna be kind of by itself, so we're gonna have to talk about that week.
Oh yes, and trailers that are coming out for other shows.
Yeah, we'll just talk about that.
Well, let's go with what we're gonna watch this week. I know you guys probably don't have shit.
I'm gonna watch Westworld.
Nice.
Westworld.
Westworld's not coming out for
I know, I'm waiting.
Yeah. Funny you brought that up. I looked that up the other night because I thought it was canceled.
Said they're pushing it way back.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. And although they had all those lawsuits too.
Really?
Yeah, they were having the extras like do
crazy
acts.
sex acts, right?
And they were like not supposed to do that, I guess. I don't know.
Not supposed to?
I heard they were...
Well, they were supposed to, but I mean, like, the guild and all that equity.
I heard that they paid them a lot more to do it.
That's...
Maybe not enough. I don't know. Who knows? But
Right.
what I am
always
excited
one
for.
fucking rat.
So what are you watching this week?
What am I watching? I'm still watching The Real O'Neills. I actually haven't watched that for the last couple of
Alright, this is a bad...
Kobe's last game on
Oh my
Wednesday.
god. Alright, that's a good one. What are you watching, Matt?
I'm really not watching much, so I don't want to say I'm not watching anything. I am watching Better Call Saul.
That's good.
almost over. I think that
That's
ends next
good.
week. I'm watching Better Call
The
Saul.
television wants stuff.
It is.
We're probably pulled after this episode.
You know what? After a while, it's done, right?
Yeah.
Well, because we already talked about
And
the things
TV
we
stays
watch.
kind of constant for a while. Yeah. We'll be watching.
I'm gonna watch Jessica Jones.
Right.
I'm on episode 4.
Don't do it.
He doesn't like it. I think it's good. I
It's
like
alright.
it. I like the show. The only problem I have with the show is the actress is good. She's good. She was good as Jane.
She's hoot.
Yeah, she does a really good job. The only problem I have with it is it's so obvious she's not doing any of the combat scenes. You know what I mean? There's a scene where she's picking up this girl, and like all they're showing is the back of her head and like moving around. You know what I mean? It's totally obvious. So my only problem with that is maybe you should have casted somebody who can physically do it, because there's women out there who obviously can physically. I mean, I guess
Luke Cage is cool.
He is cool.
He's getting his own show.
He is getting his own show. I saw the preview after Daredevil
I
was
did
over.
too.
It was really random.
But that's what we're
Yeah,
watching.
so that's what we're watching. Yeah, that'll probably be the last time when you talk about what we're watching.
Yeah,
It's
other than that,
getting
you should know it's Game of Thrones.
Game.
Alright, so that's going to wrap it us from all these finales here.
Yeah.
And so we will see you at another time.
Yeah. See. There you go, work.
Wiener, 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 wiener.